States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we give thanks for allowing us to live in such a wonderful community, to work and raise a family. Recently, the Jasper Newton Foundation celebrated their 30th year of existence with their motto, "Love where you live." We as Rotarians, like so many others, feel this way as well. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you and welcome to the meeting. Russ is asking that everyone on Facebook who is a Rotarian contact him so he knows that you are here today. Since we aren't doing Zoom today, we won't be able to see you. Julie, I notice you have a guest. Would you like to introduce your guest?
Yes, this is Jay Slinger. He just heard this in September, October? Back in December, and so he helps out and does various things, and I'm glad to have him on board. So.
Good.
Morning, Chase.
You need to inform him a little bit about Rotary, so maybe we can get him to join us. Is there still time to get registered for the Rotary Online Convention? Chris, what are the dates for that? I forgot to look it up.
The dates for the convention, it's in 2 weeks. Just a second.
I couldn't remember if it started the 14th, 15th, somewhere around there.
I was thinking it was the 14th, but I could be wrong.
That's what I'm thinking, it was the 14th. But it's going to be an online convention. So, you know, you can just sign up, even if you can only see a few little sections of it. It's nice to see it. One thing I'd like to mention, next week we are going to be meeting at Fenwick's. When we met there the last time, you guys missed one of the best presentations we had all year. It was absolutely fabulous. So, anyways, hope to see you. I don't think we'll have a presentation this time.
Starts on the 11th.
Starts on the 11th?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just a week away then. Kenny Kenny talked and excellent information. Talked about the future of the brewery, took us inside the new building and talked about all the equipment, the advances and what they have planned for the next 5 years or so for the place. It was really fabulous. Okay, Mike, you've got a couple things to report for us, including some good news.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We did receive our district grant for the thermal imaging for the Rensselaer Volunteer Fire Department. We asked for $3,000, got $2,200. Very excited about that. So we're going to be able to purchase that. For those of you who've been following the fire department, know that they are now using that as probably one of their major tools going into fires, because it gives them really quick access to help save people. So we're excited about that. So we asked for $3,000. We'll still have to raise part of that. So we're going to have a couple events between now and the end of our pork burger season that are going to go directly to that. So we'll be watching for that. On that note, this Saturday is our next pork burger event. The cause that we're working together with this weekend is called Alex's Lemonade Stand. Foundation is changing the lives of children with cancer by funding impactful research, raising awareness, supporting families, and empowering everyone to help cure childhood cancer. There will be a Facebook link that you can jump on. Those of you that are on Facebook, if you want a link to where you can go directly to that and find out more about that, I'll be more than glad to send that to you. But it will be on Facebook. And as always, overall, those of you that have funded our club on Facebook, anytime you see something on Facebook, just quick share it if you would. It just makes it advertisement that much bigger. We're really leaning on that heavily because it works. And so if you'll help us by doing that, that would be very exciting. I think we have shifts covered, but we would also like some backup in case some things change between now and the weekend. So if you're able to, or look at the schedule that's already out there, save those emails, you see all of our schedule is out there. Let us know any of those, especially as we're gearing up for fair. It's gonna take a lot of people to make it happen. It's 8 wonderful days at the fairgrounds, so we'll need all the help that we can get. Also, if you represent another community club or organization, we want to know about that group also coming out, and we do have a standing amount that we donate to that club that mans the Warburger station for the day. So I wanted to throw that out there. I think that's everything.
DAR would like to have both shifts on Monday.
Monday, got it.
So that's one day taken care of.
Thank you.
And Cecile asked me to remind everybody that if you want to eat at the change of gavel, you do need to register because they're ordering the food for that. So be sure to get your reservations in. We hope to have a good attendance. If you haven't heard, it's at the Iroquois Park, one of the shelters. So it'll probably be quieter than having it over at Brookside.
What day is that?
What?
What day is that?
That's the 22nd, the third Tuesday of the month. Matt, do you want to tell what we're going to do on the fourth Tuesday of the month, or the 5th?
The fifth Tuesday, yes, the
5th
29th. We are having, I don't know, what you call it?
Shindig.
Shindig, yes, at the Robertson Abode. And I will smoke something that you'll be delightful. You'll be delighted with.
You take that a couple of ways.
That could be
Supposed to be
interpreted
something delightful.
different ways.
Been a minute.
So bring your own or a covered dish. We'll be doing that. Probably kicking off. The happy hour starts at 5 o'clock, 5:30, and we'll probably eat around 6. So
Okay.
just kind of an open house and come enjoy your place. Been wanting to do it for a while anyway. Tori,
Yeah,
you need to help me out here, okay?
We're gonna have
Okay.
rotary cookies.
I'll bake some rotary.
Excellent.
Road
There you
tree
go.
cookies.
Yeah.
Road tree. Leave out the egg. It's a lot more
That's
fun.
So we'll be sending out invitations probably in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Just need a head count on how much to prepare for, okay?
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to be in Las Vegas that
Oh.
week, but anyways,
We'll send a
have a
cookie.
drink on me. One thing I wanted to mention about the grant request, we actually had requested, I think it was about $3,000, which is the maximum grant. We did not get it for one reason. They look at the 3-year average of donations to the Rotary Annual Fund, and our average is below $100 per person. So, for this year's annual fund, you can still donate through the end of June. So any donations would help get this year's average up, and then we can work on getting our averages up for the next couple years, so that when we get grants, we can get more and do more.
And to Sue's point, the reason that is that way is in 3 years, half of that money comes back to the district for grant purposes.
Mhm.
So,
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. Does anyone else have any business before Bryan starts talking? We're fortunate to have our own member, Bryan Overstreet, talking about cicadas, or how do you pronounce that?
Cicadas.
Cicadas, okay.
So first I'll do the pig,
Oh,
because we didn't do the pig yet, have we?
well, we do that at the end.
Oh, do the pig?
Oh, well, we can do it, it doesn't
I thought
matter.
we
You
did
do
the-
whatever
You can do
want.
it,
Okay,
and
I
then
thought
we'll
we
do
did the
the
pig at the
drawing. We'll do
beginning.
Because
it
I'm
with-
gonna fine you for your new kitchen
Yeah.
anyway, so you go ahead and put that money in there, cause that's a
Yeah,
kitchen fund.
let's-
I have no money
Beautiful
left,
kitchen.
I have no money left. So anybody got birthday or anniversary? No? Alright.
Wait.
Well,
I'm gonna take out my wallet, hang on.
I'll pay Brian's dollar fine for his kitchen.
Yeah.
hopefully, the
There's your
sink, the
first.
sink and dishwasher are being connected today, and we gotta do a little more conversion from LP to or natural gas to LP for the stove. 'Cause last night, we thought it didn't need anything on the oven, but it does. So we had a nice big flame. So
What's Chris got going on?
but it stayed in the oven likely, so.
My
Okay, I'll give $1 since I'm gonna miss Matt's party.
22nd anniversary.
anniversary now.
Congratulations. So, who's up for parole? Just kidding.
No. I get along with my wife, remember?
Oh, it's different.
I guess I didn't bring
Never
my,
heard of that.
I'm gonna have to, I left the script at the office, so I'm gonna have to, luckily I reviewed it. So,
You got your laptop on over there if you wanna grab it.
yeah, we could do that. I think most of it I've read through. I just hate doing programs that I didn't write. All right, I think according to Purdue rules, I think I'm far enough away I don't have to wear my mask now, so I'm not sure. So being this is being recorded, we've been trying to wear the mask, but you probably can hear me better without it. So we're talking a little about periodical cicadas, and the brood X, which is the one that's been making all the news this year, especially in central and southern Indiana. And Ashley Adair is my counterpart down in Montgomery County. She put together this PowerPoint to talk a little bit about them. So basically they're a large flying insect. They're cousins to the leafhopper. They're found worldwide, and they feed on the sap of the trees. And actually the larvae, or the smaller larvae and the smaller nymphs, basically live off the tree roots for the 17, well, it depends on which type they are, but they live off the tree roots while they're underground. And they are loud. We were down in southern Indiana camping this weekend, and then Saturday afternoon and Sunday, well, basically Sunday and Monday they were pretty loud. Saturday it was cold and yucky enough. They were pretty quiet that day. But the male cicadas are the ones that you're hearing. They got a special little organ called the timbal that produce the rasping sound. So it's not like crickets and stuff that rub their legs together that you hear about. So, but they start as an egg. They lay their eggs in the twigs, trees, and then they go through 5 or 6 instars and become the adult that we see. So, and the final molts, what we've been having this past few weeks down in southern Indiana for the most part, and when they come out, they crawl out of the ground, and you can see little holes in the ground all over the place in the woods and the campgrounds we were in, and they come up, they do their final molts. They're kind of a whitish, yellowish at the first few days, and then they finally turn to the first part. So I kind of got. This one's got just the sheds. I didn't know if anybody wanted to touch them, so I put them in the bags. So they went to. This one's actually got a couple of cicada in that one too, with the sheds, so you can pass those around. And then the periodical cicadas are the big ones that we see a lot of times, we see those every year. Those are bigger and kind of more of a green color. These have got kind of a reddish eye and yellow. Here's basically. If you looked up in the trees, you could see them hanging on the leaves. There's a sample of that. Here's a couple. Their total goal in life was when they come out of the ground is to mate. So I found that set. And then here's just another one that's like I got here. So, but so the ones that are the annual ones that we normally see every year are larger, a little whiter, and then the ones that we got the periodicals are a little smaller, got that red eye. They do sound different too. The periodical one sounds more like, or the annual one sounds more like scissors type sound, and then the ones for the periodical sound more. They're saying pharaoh, or it sounds like it says it sounds like a UFO in a group. It just was a total hum across the woods all weekend long once they got warmed up. Yesterday morning, we went out for a hike, and they weren't too noisy when we got started about 7 o'clock our time yesterday morning, or it was about 6 our time, I guess, this morning, but about 8 or 9 o'clock they started warming up, and they started buzzing pretty good by then. So the annuals will emerge in late summer, usually July and August, so we really aren't seeing those right now. The periodicals, they'll start hatching and coming out of the ground about at 65 degrees, when the soil gets about 65 degrees. And they're more active at night. When it gets warm at night at that temperature. And they've been mid-April through late May is when they've been coming up the ground. We kind of had a pause in it this year because it got so cold there for a while. So they started to come out of the ground, and then they said, wait, it's cold. So the ones that were a little running behind said, I'm going to stay underground here where it's nice to get. So they kind of had a two-phase of it this year. One thing that the periodical cicadas, well, all of them do is they lay their eggs, they'll burrow and just put a little slit on little twigs and lay their eggs, and they'll lay 300 to 400 eggs a year. And then the base of the nymphs, they'll feed on those roots, tree roots, for that 17 years and while they're underground. And they do both of them, the annual and the periodical, both lay their eggs and eat kind of the same type of thing. So you have to have trees to do it. So part of the reason is in Jasper County we don't have a lot of trees compared to other places too. So that's part of the reason we don't have as many. But we'll talk a little more about why we don't have too much this year either. But the periodical cicadas lay their eggs on branches that are about 3/16 to 7/16 of an inch in diameter, and they can, like I said, 400 to 600 eggs. And a lot of times because they do that and they put those little slits in limbs, it could damage smaller trees and that are most at risk. So why 17 years? I'm not sure particularly on that. I don't think we really answered that in this one, but there's basically they overwhelm the predators that can take care of them, so we're not going to destroy the population because basically anything will eat a cicada. I mean, we got insects, we got cicada killers that do them, spiders will eat them, birds love them, turtles, moles will eat them while they're underground, even our pets, even us. I mean, there's been some specials I've seen on things we can make a cicada dinners and things like that.
Oh my God.
So they're high protein,
Not even good idea.
low cholesterol,
So is it them or crickets?
gluten free, non-GMO.
Is it them or crickets is better with chocolate?
I'm not sure. I haven't had these, so. But the thing is, would you want to eat the same thing for 3 to 4 weeks? Is the biggest problem. So I mean, the problem after a few weeks, the predators was like, I've had enough of this, and we've gone on. But I got to go backwards. Figure out how to do that. Even pets can eat them, and people are worried about their dogs eating them and stuff. And the biggest problem is it's not going to hurt them other than the exoskeleton, which is the hard body part. It's kind of hard to digest, so it could cause some indigestion for your pet if your dog eats too many of them. So, but it's not gonna. I mean, it's not poisonous to them. It's just kind of gives them an upset stomach. But this year our talks in basically southern and central Indiana. You hear a lot more about it than we've been hearing about it around here. Partly is because we're in a zone that we're kind of the edge of it here, and there's actually there's up to 23 different ones, but some of those are I think the different broods, and part of those aren't here in the United States, and part of those in Europe and other places across the world. But so we're kind of the edge of it here, and also, like I said, we're not covered with trees like they are in southern Indiana too, so that's part of it. But, so we're kind of on the fringe of here, getting those here. But most of the state of Indiana is covered with this. But so we got the 17-year. Basically, everywhere's got some of them, but South Central Indiana's got the largest. But what we're going to worry about is 2024 here in Jasper County. I think it's going to be our hit. We've got the 13-year cicada, which would be a similar cicada than we've got in 2024. here that hits Jasper County. Whoops, I guess I thought I.
Oh, God, that's disgusting.
And we got and then we also have the 17-year cicada hitting on the same year in Lake and Porter and LaPorte County. So they're going to fringe into, pretty sure, in the northern part of our county too. So we're going to get a double whammy of 13-year and 14-year ones that year in 2024. So be prepared for cicadas. You don't look so excited about them.
I don't like things that crawl.
So when they emerge, it said we'll have these little holes coming up out of the ground, and you can see, and sometimes they'll make a little mud. If it's muddy, they'll make little tubes coming up out of the ground. This was a picture from last week down in Monroe County. All those shells coming down underneath the tree, just piling up underneath there. I saw a tree that had a few under. I mean, nothing like that this weekend, but I thought that was. They're not going to hurt humans or people or our pets, but they can hurt our trees, young trees, and small pets because they'll whoops, the wrong button here. We'll put that little slit in there, and it can kind of, if they get too many slits in there, it can damage the twigs. And basically, if you're in a forest, it just basically stunts them for a year. It's not going to kill the trees generally, but you do have some new young plants that you can cause some issues for homeowners. But it affects a lot of the trees: the maples, the service berries, redbuds, dogwoods, ash, which there's not many of those around anymore, witch hazel, crab apples and apples, cherries, peaches, oaks, roses, mountain ash, basswood, elms. So I mean, it hits a lot of species that they'll lay their eggs on and can do some damage. So if you do have some young trees that you're worried about, you need to put a mesh over them, which I should have stopped. There was one house that we drove by on the way to the campground the other day that had all their trees were all covered with this mesh, but I should have got a picture of that. Apologize, I didn't. But they exclude with a 1/2 inch or smaller mesh, because if it's bigger than that, they can get in. A lot of the bird nests you get to try to keep birds away from your cherries and things like that are got too big a hole, so you need something smaller than that. You can wait till they're done here in a few weeks, and then you can trim the branches that have been killed off if you do need it, if they are damaged. As a last resort, you can do some insecticide, but you're going to probably do more damage on other insects than you are benefit in trying to get rid of these guys, because they're generally not going to do that much damage to your tree. So permethrin and cyphlothrin are the two they recommend. They're both pyrethroids and pretty safe to handle as insecticides go, so you can do that. But follow your label. And especially with permethrin, if you're worried you need to spray about every 5 to 7 days. The cyphlothrin probably will stay around longer than that, so you probably wouldn't need to do that. So that's kind of a brief review of the cicadas. But here in Jasper County, I think our big issue is going to be in 3 years, but we do, and we'll have the annuals coming out. But yeah, I keep hearing on Facebook posts and everything about southern Indiana, how all of them they're getting down there, and we were down very southern part of Indiana this weekend, and I was kind of disappointed Saturday morning and that we weren't hearing anything, but when they warmed up on Sunday, they cranked up and got going. So it was just a kind of a hum across the whole. It's just kind of ringing in your ears the whole time. It seemed like. So, any questions?
I saw the 17 years, 13 years.
Yeah.
Why
is it different?
Whether it's 9, 11, 20?
I think, I'm not sure exactly what determines. I think there's a subspecies of each one is the reason that some take longer than others. So, I mean, it just takes that long for them to mature, and they just.
But when it does 17 years, it's 17 years every place?
Generally, well, for that brood, so they've got different. Those dots had different broods that.
Okay, so then it just may be just for that little area.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the brood for here. Okay. There's another big brood.
But that may not be the same 17-year cycle.
Yeah, it's a different cycle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so here's the ones that just in Indiana, the different cycles that affect Indiana. Okay. So the different ones. So, so I think go back one here. Point somewhere. There it goes. Yeah, so this brood is probably, is a 13-year brood that's gonna hit us on some of that, so. And then this is a 17-year brood that's hitting, so this brood and this brood are gonna hit the same time in 2024. So it's gonna be, a lot of the Midwest is gonna be noisy that summer.
You said there's annual cicadas too?
Then there's annual ones too.
Or the locusts, we call them?
The locusts, yeah, and those were, go back, these guys. So they're the bigger ones, they come out later in the summer.
That's about 6 weeks till frost, right? That's
Yeah, somewhere like that, it's one of the old wives' tales.
Locusts, 6 weeks till the frost.
Yeah, so,
Which is never true.
Which is kind of like that.
so they, so they'll be coming out, and they sound a little different too, but they both eat off the roots and things like that, but they're not gonna kill it. I just told you can't answer it. And, so that's the, kind of the difference, but they're bigger, or, but you'll see those locusts, the pods or the shells on the trees the same way, but they're a little bigger too. But appreciate you letting me have time to talk about them. And I think when I signed up for this a few months ago, I wasn't sure. I was thinking we weren't going to really be hitting too hard, but I thought and I didn't realize I wouldn't have nice fresh samples to bring either. But it worked out that way.
So where'd you camp at down there?
Dean Lake, which is just you go down 65 to Memphis exit, which is 16, I think. So you're almost out of Louisville, about 24 miles out of Louisville.
Okay.
So it was a good little haul down there on Friday with the traffic.
Yeah.
And the wind Friday wasn't a real pleasant drive either.
Yeah. Keep those hands on the steering wheel.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, let's have the drawing. You know, there's only a few cards left, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you've got a good chance to get some money today. And as of last week, it was $426, and there's some more in here too. So
The world's gonna win.
somebody's gonna win it.
I didn't donate today. $090.
I figured Orville's gonna
Orville.
win. Orville's gonna win, I know, that's good.
Good, I hope he does.
I do too.
Does he always win?
He's a pretty good winner. He's pretty good at it.
Yes, good luck.
Go get him, Marvel.
Make him prove it.
Give it. Come on, Orville. It's your
Get
turn.
love.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo.
Big good.
We are.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! There you go, Orville. You can buy some more plants for your garden now.
Well, the pot is now down to 0 for next week, so we'll have to start building up again. So, thank you for everybody. Let's say the 4-way test. Do I stand up for the 4-way test?